You're live.
Welcome to Life Mysteries. I'm your co founder. I'm your host. I'm Donna. I'm your psychic medium, your clairvoyant to Life Mysteries.
Wait, first time. I am Emma. I am your co-founder. I'm also hosting this evening with Donna for Life Mysteries.
We have a great show for you tonight, and his name is Bob Ashway.
And there he is.
Yay!
Hello.
Welcome, Bob, onto Life Mysteries.
Good to be
Welcome.
here.
Great. So, Bob, we'll open this up with telling us a little bit about yourself, please.
Okay. Well, my name is Bob Ashway, and I am the team lead of Ghostly Quest Paranormal team. We are based in Pennsylvania, South Central Pennsylvania. I live in Laymasters, PA, and my cohort in crime, Shauna Ricker, she lives over in St. Thomas, Pennsylvania, which is probably a long stone throw from here. We've only been doing uh, investigations for about a little over 3 years. So we're still infants in the thing, but we're learning a lot. We've experienced a lot. Um, we had a team kind of take us under their wing for a time, and they helped us get our feet wet. And from there, things just kept progressing for us. And we've done a lot of investigations, and we've gathered a lot of evidence for things. And it's been a really cool ride. I've never experienced this type of thing before. Um, Actually, I grew up not believing in ghosts and stuff. And as I get into my story more, you'll be able to see how it progressed to where I'm at today.
Hmm. Interesting.
Okay. Can you take us back to where this all gets very interesting?
Okay. I saw my first full bodied apparition when I was 14. Um, and I was going through puberty and all that stuff. And I was in a depression, wasn't feeling the best. And one night when I felt like I was at my worst, I was sleeping in something in our hallway. Now let me explain this hall. Let me explain my house. Then, it's a 2-story uh, limestone house with a creepy attic and a creepy basement, and everything in between was about half as creepy. So there was a lot. As I look at it back now, I'm thinking, man, that thing must have been loaded with spirits because it was it was a very old house. It's one of the oldest in Franklin County, where we live at, and and I've learned that limestone is a conductor for spirit activity, and so that all made a lot of sense afterwards. But anyways, one night I heard something in our hallway. It sounded like the attic door had opened, and it was right. I'm going to try to put this. My bedroom doorway. If I went out it immediately to the right is the attic door, so I would be able to hear anything that's right outside that door. And so, anyways, I heard like the latch rattle, and then I looked out. I could look around the corner, and I said, "Who's out there?" And right there, and like 5 feet away from me, there was full bodied apparition, totally white. I could make out the hair was dark. I could see the eyes and the mouth and the hands, and but it was floating, and it was like in a white robe. But it had this blue aura around it, and it kind of freaked me out for a little bit. But at the same time, I felt okay, like it wasn't going to hurt me,
Yeah.
because I it I just after I said who's there, it kind of turned around and looked at me, waved and smiled, and turned around and went back out through the hallway and down the stairs. And I was like, nope. I got underneath the covers and I stayed there till morning. But I never really gave it much thought after that. It creeped me out for a few days, but being a kid, my thoughts went elsewhere. At that time, I was chasing after girls and whatever 14-year-olds do.
Yeah.
And so I really didn't think anything of it, but there were times where I always felt like something was following me or watching me. I would like think I was hearing somebody calling my name, and nobody's around me. But I just shrugged it off and said, whatever. And so that's the beginning of it all. I think that's where things started, but I just didn't know it. So, and all of us have experienced like seeing out of our peripheral vision, out of our side eye there, and something moving that catches our eye, and there's nothing there. And but I grew up not believing in ghosts at all. So, and I grew up around the church, and they all teach angels and demons, and there isn't any human spirits roaming around. And that was my mentality for the longest time. I even taught Sunday school, and I taught against that type of thing too. So, but I always, at that same time, I always still had those feelings like something was around me, But how could that be? I just figured that's my guardian angel still with me, and that type of thing.
Mm.
Well, that's an incredible start to experiencing something. So you said that you taught Sunday school. What was that like when you were having those sort of things happen? Did you, guess what I'm saying is, did you cast that out because of church, or did you just kind of put it down to coincidence or seeing things and then?
You mean at first?
Yeah. Well,
when I first started feeling these things, I didn't know what to make of it. So, I can't. I'm trying to think back to how I was feeling at those times. But I just remember there were sometimes, like, if I would go in the attic for something at our house, there was such a heaviness up there. Like, I knew there was something up there. I just couldn't put my finger on it. But I always tried not to go up there if I didn't have to. And the basement was kind of the same way. Oh, let me say how, compared to then to now, I didn't know I was experiencing this as a kid. But when I went up into the attic, I would get this pressure in my head, almost like a pain, but not a pain, kind of like if you were getting a sinus headache or something. It'd be like, come right here, like somebody was pressuring on my head like that. And now that's how I can tell if there's something in a room or in an area that I'm getting ready to investigate.
Okay.
And I say, oh, there's something in here. So I said, I can feel them.
Yeah.
So I guess that was probably, even though I wasn't aware of it, that's probably the first time I felt something like that and just didn't know. Because I didn't know anything about, mediums and psychics or anything like that, except that they were run by the devil.
So it was the way that came out there. I'm sorry, I was looking at what I said was ran by the devil. I was like, whoa! I love that. I love that, Phoebe. Donna, I think you should ask a question after that comment.
Yeah.
That's what I was taught.
I feel my gift is from God. not him. But
Right.
so where did you go from there after the church and
Well, I actually went to a Bible college, but I didn't get to finish because I ran out of money. So, but it didn't really. Again, I really didn't pay attention to that stuff because of my upbringing and being at Bible college and stuff like that. So, I'm gonna fast forward through that part because I don't really have any recollection
yeah.
of anything. I even went to my favorite place. You know, Gettysburg is like my favorite place to go to. And back then, when I would go, really didn't feel anything, except I always had that feeling that somebody was behind me. You know. But fast forward to my first investigation. We went to an investigation at the Chambersburg Visitor Center and the old Franklin County Jail with a group. My cousin Shauna Ricker, she's my cousin, by the way. Uh, she invited me to come to this investigation. I was kind of apprehensive because my upbringing, I didn't believe in that stuff, but I'll go because she invited me. But when we started the investigation, I should say when we first stepped into the visitor center, that pressure, it reminded me of the attic. You know, I was like, "What's going on?" I haven't felt this in a long time. You know, and so we went on, and we had like a couple of things that we bought for equipment for ourselves, but we used some of the other teams' equipment and stuff, and we went through the visitor center and we're taking pictures and things, and I was starting to feel uneasy. I felt like somebody was always touching me. And I thought I ran into a spider web, but there was no web. You know how some people say, get that
Yep.
feeling like something's on your face. I had
Yep.
that, and we went down into the basement of there, and it was just the whole time I was there, I thought I was going to get a headache, but that whole time I could feel something around me, but nothing really tried to speak to me. I hadn't gotten that far yet. And so we went on and we went on other investigations with this team and met a lot of people through them. And we learned a lot from them too. But at the same time, I'm a little stubborn. And I wanted to kind of try to figure out my own way of doing investigations, because I felt like something was leading me to do that. So I needed to try to connect with whatever was happening with me. So I started talking, I made friends with some other people, and some of them are probably watching right now, and they've helped me and Shauna get through this whole process. And I discovered that I'm becoming a sensitive, right? So I start, I research it and see what all that entails. And I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what I've been going through. And so time's gone by, and I saw my second spirit. And I don't know if you guys have seen the picture yet. I don't know if I've shared it with you guys yet, but me and Shauna were doing, or no, I went to Gettysburg myself for this investigation. I went by myself. At first, it was just a trip to Gettysburg, and it turned into an impromptu investigation when I got out to Sachs Bridge. And I was about done. Hadn't gotten anything. Had some feelings and stuff, Didn't really have anything touching me or anything. So I thought, well, nothing's going on here. I might as well leave. So I'm at the far end of the bridge. I start walking towards the parking lot side, and it's like almost dark. And I could just see out the side of the bridge, and there was this undulating black mass outside that bridge. And earlier, I had been talking with a female spirit before I saw this black mass, and as I was walking through and I saw that, I was like, "Is that you that I was talking to a while ago? If it is, come in and sit down with me on the bridge." So I sat down on the rail, and I'd seen it. I mean, I could see it as plain as I'm seeing you guys, and I could feel it. I was like, I didn't feel threatened or anything. Like, I was assuming black masses meant bad things. But I said, if this is you, come in and sit down on a bridge with me. And so I swear I saw it come through that rail and come and sit down across from me. And I took like a couple of shots. I took like 3 shots. And out of those 3 shots, one was really clear. It looked like the bottom part from the knees down of a lady that was wearing like a dress from the knees down. I'll have to share that picture with you guys so you can see what I'm talking about. But I was like, yeah. And she told me her name was Mary. And I was like, that's real cool. That was my second experience with a spirit and seeing them, because I could see her right over there. Even though it was from her knees down, if that was all she could give me, that was fine with that, But ever since then, some other things started happening to me. They started talking to me, not like verbally like we are, but like it's like they're speaking to me. It's like whispering in my ear or whatever. And I can see the words in my head that they're trying to say. And it's just like, oh, okay. And sometimes when I'm investigating and I have people with me, I'm saying, okay, this is what they're saying. And it's just, I'm finding it hard to explain it, but I see the words spelled in my head, and I say, oh, yeah, that's what you're going through. That's what happened to you. I kind of have to do some filler words, but I feel like they're right because they are able to be verified by the people that are with me. You know what I mean? And that's the case whenever we recently went to Gettysburg again. And I had Shauna and another guy with us, Gary Treidel, I think is his name. Yeah. And he's a photographer. And we made contact with Mary again. And she remembered me. She told me she remembered me after I asked her. And it was really cool to be able to reconnect with her because I could. She gave me more of a vision of what she looks like.
Yeah.
And she's like really tall. She's like 5'9". Because whenever I would stand in, I could feel her like beside me, and I could kind of feel like if I need to see her face, I kind of need to look up. And because I'm 5'3", so I did. But it was quite an experience, and I sat down, and she got quiet, and then all of a sudden I said, "Mary, are you still here?" And a little bit later, she goes, "In front of you." So she's like standing right in front of me, and I see, okay, I thought maybe you were, but yeah.
So we have a question from our very own Liz Millen. Well, it's sort of in 2 parts here, so I'll give you both parts so you can sort of... so the first part is, what is the worst investigation you were ever on, and the place, and the best investigation you've had, and which place were they?
I would say the worst one I was on was actually the 3rd investigation we were on at the Franklin County Jail, the old Franklin County Jail, which is
Mhm.
very haunted, by the way.
Yeah.
If anybody has a chance to go there on a event when someone's having an event there, you got to go. But I was in a cell with a inmate that had killed his family, but I did not know how he killed his family. I just was fed that information from somebody else that he killed his family. So I'm sitting in there, and I felt kind of uneasy. I was feeling him in there, and I said, "Okay, why are you in here? How did you kill your family?" And all of a sudden, now let me explain. I use the app Ghost Tube.
Mhm.
It's a backup for me. If when I investigate a place, I say, okay, you guys, you can talk through this, or you can talk through me to me. So you don't have to ring any bells or lights or anything. You talk to me. And on my Ghost Tube came the word choke.
Mm.
I said, choke? Did you choke your family? I was like, that's not very nice. And all of a sudden, I'm getting a pain in the back of my neck. Somebody grabbing me by the back of my neck. I could
Yep.
feel the fingers back there. And I said, if you're touching me, you need to get off right now. I said, you are not allowed to touch me like that. And it scared me, but, I had to take charge of that situation because I'm not one that's going to sit still and let that happen to me.
Yeah.
So, and that's the worst one. The best one I would say is the one I just explained with meeting Mary again. I was very happy with that one. We met two other new spirits. Well, three actually. One was a really nasty Confederate soldier. I didn't repeat. If you ever watch my videos of those, they're on our page. Um, you'll hear me talk about. I'm not going to repeat what this guy's saying because it's not right. He's very nasty, and he is over a slave spirit that worked with the cooks in the camps of the Confederacy, and he was killed by. And he's told me this, so that's how I know. He was killed by cannon fire and left for dead. I never really got his name that I can remember. And then we met Mary and another spirit named Kenneth. And he told me that he had killed himself on the bridges nearby there. So that was my favorite one. It was really cool to meet Mary again, and then discover these other ones that were here, and it was really nice. So.
Okay. Is it my turn or your turn, Sweetie?
I have not a clue, but my computer is playing up, so I'll let you.
Okay. So,
Sorry.
all right. Now, is that the height is where your abilities stand? Is that where you still stand today, or is there a point where your abilities gotten heightened at all?
I think it's getting more heightened
Yep.
because I'm hard of hearing, so some of my other senses have sharpened, like my smell, taste, that type of thing. My skin feeling, somebody touching me, I definitely can feel them touching me more.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah.
You
So
get
I think things are getting heightened. I'm not sure
yeah.
how far they'll go,
Well,
but
it's smell and taste is clairsentient. You're getting the smell, the taste, so
right.
you're obviously clairvoyant.
Yeah. I never really thought of that. So
Yeah, I'm a clairvoyant, and that's what it sounds like. Everything's
yeah,
heightened in that way, that aspect. So
yeah,
that's what it sounds like. Things are heightening with you. Um, you're not always gonna hear spirits whisper in your ear.
right,
You hear them in your head.
yeah,
So don't
yeah,
worry about your hearing or anything like that. You're gonna hear them in your head.
yeah.
You're not gonna hear them
That
in your ear. Not
that
always
that's
whispering in your ear.
right. That's a lot of what they do. It's just like when I say about seeing the words spelled in my head,
Yeah,
or the words coming to me. Okay, this is what they're saying. Um, that type of thing. So
yeah. You'll do all right. Sounds like you're a clairvoyant, and everything's gonna sharpen up for you.
yeah, I just tell people I'm still honing it. Still sharpening it. You can take what I say as a grain of salt, however you want to take it, but this is how I'm doing this. So,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and I've had verification several times.
yep.
So something's going on, something's right.
And the
So
more you go, the more it's gonna go. You know.
yeah, yeah.
So
Oh, I did want to mention part of my story. Um, I do have health issues. Like recently in November, I had a kidney transplant, and
yeah.
so um, back in 2017, I had a heart attack, which I needed heart surgery for, and I had a triple bypass done.
Oh.
And I'm getting out of my shade. Anyways, the sun is moving. But after I healed up, after
Yeah.
that point, I felt a lot different. And I'd asked my wife, I said, did anything happen while I was under anesthesia? Because I remember when I woke up, I still had my air tube in my throat. And I asked her, I said, did anything happen? And she said, yeah, they had some trouble getting you awake and you wouldn't respond. I like, oh, okay. So, and I didn't say anything to her because she don't believe in the
Yeah.
paranormal at all. And but it was since after that, it just kind of felt different,
More
you know.
heightened.
Yeah, something was going on, but I just needed it to play out and see where it was going to go. So
Yeah. So it sounds like you had maybe a near. What do they call that, Emma?
Near
Near death.
experience.
Near
yeah,
death
Near death
experience,
experience.
and that
yeah.
will heighten you.
Well, and it was weird because I remember hearing stories of people when they have those experiences, they see lights, they see this, they see that, they experience this. I didn't see any of that. So I don't remember any of that. I'm not saying it didn't happen, but
Yeah.
I just didn't remember it.
I've interviewed someone before that said the same thing. It was quite a while back, but I interviewed somebody that said they had a near-death experience, and it wasn't the way it was portrayed in like the movies and stuff. Like you didn't see white lights and
Yeah,
flashing, your life sort of flashing before your eyes. So I guess there is a lot of misconceptions, and this is why we call this life mystery, because it's something we
Yeah.
won't know. Like
right.
if people have had that, obviously, I'm really sorry to hear about your health issues. That's
Hmm.
Yeah.
really to be going through that, but it kind of sounds like you're made of tougher stuff. Because
Yeah.
me, I don't know if I'd want to go into that realm anymore. Just in case, like because you don't know what's going to happen. Like I'm sure you've done investigations where you've been like, what's going to happen here are quite.
Right.
Like, if you ever been like, is there like one specific investigation you've gone to, walked in and thought something's going to happen here? Like just had that instant feeling that something's going to happen.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
intuition.
Right. Um, Let me try to think back to some.
Since you had
I
that near life experience that Emma's talking about.
right. Um, not. I don't recall having any kind of intuition like that, except that like the normal things, like, oh, I knew that was going to happen. You know, when you say stuff like that, but I don't remember. I don't remember having that part of it. Is that
No.
normal, or does that?
I
No.
think I don't think it's like abnormal. I
Yeah.
think some people kind of walk into a place and it's like they know you have abilities, so they try to kind of play, like they try to move away from that so you wouldn't instantly get that
Yeah.
feeling because they know that you would know they were there. And I believe sometimes that can happen, like they'll move back and go, right, he'll know
Okay,
right away, sort of
I
thing.
thought I did think of something. Shauna and I, when we went on our last investigation to Gettysburg, as we were driving there, I said, "Okay, you're going to think this is funny, but all last week before we went, all that week, I knew where I needed to go, what spots I needed to stop at, and at those stops, we experienced something every stop.
See, that's your
So,
intuition. Yeah.
so yeah,
Hmm.
and yeah,
Yeah, that would be intuition for sure. Would
Yeah.
be an
And
intuition. Yeah.
another thing is, the more people you talk to with abilities, we're all different.
hmm
None of us are the same. I mean, we might have similar things, but we're all different. That's why it's Life Mysteries, and we can learn off of each other. You know what I mean?
right, yeah,
Because we are all different.
Hmm.
Some of the,
Which is great
but
when you do a show like this because people connect with what you're saying, like because everyone does experience and
a lot,
sometimes connecting with people with abilities can actually heighten what you do, and then you can heighten what they do, and it is actually really weird how
yeah,
some connections can be made or through pure force that would like maybe open you or maybe open Donna.
yeah,
Like it's quite cool, but it is quite something because what you have is came like bit by bit.
hmm
It's really materialized, which means you'd be quite strong
right,
because you didn't just get it and then so this is progression of getting strong and eventually, but then this is a good thing where if you connect with like other psychics or media or people with abilities, sometimes you can become stronger and you can make that person stronger.
hmm
It's wild, but
yeah,
it's like this electricity that goes through your body when you meet other sensitives or empaths. And I think like with the journeys you're taking, especially with your group, you're gonna find that.
hmm
Um, so it's intriguing me.
yeah,
Really, your case intrigues me very much so,
right, right,
for sure. Kind of lost for words with like the part of your story I've heard because most people are born with a gift
hmm
and they progress over the years, but the way you've kind of found yours is
yeah. I mean,
it's
I've heard of people saying, "Well, I've had disabilities since I was 6 years old." Young, like a toddler. I'm like, how is that possible? But I guess that it is. I've done some reading on the subject, and some people have had something all their lives, and you know why that spirit chose to let me see it that night when I was
well,
14. I don't.
you could have had it a lot younger,
Yeah.
but it didn't show itself to you until you reached puberty, like you said. Because I've had my gifts that I noticed when I was 5 years old. Now, I was told I was born with my gift.
Hmm.
You said you reached puberty, and that's when that spirit showed herself to you.
Right.
Now, you could have been a lot younger also, but it shows, and that happens, I notice, in boys too. When they reach puberty, I don't know why, but that's when they notice things, and you know what I mean? It's hard to
Yeah.
explain.
Yeah. I think it has something to do with the testosterone.
Yeah. Which in a roundabout way, a nice way, it is because you're a man. It is because you are definitely a man that happened. And, you know, I quite believe that. It's definitely the man inside you. But, I mean, I guess having those experiences as well, the heart attack, and although those
Yeah.
are like
Mhm.
really not, it's not the nicest thing to happen.
Right.
Obviously when everyone knows when they're doing bypasses or stents, or they are surging almost like electricity through you, so that'll awaken,
Oh,
Mhm.
yeah.
because
Yeah.
they're putting, and that's not because you're a man. That can happen to our Donna Tay, and she's a woman.
Yeah.
Like maybe that is going to heighten you a bit more, although it maybe is the worst thing to happen. But
Yeah.
you
Right.
might find that with each investigation you do now, something new's coming to you.
Right. Oh,
It's very intriguing.
oh, I didn't write this in my notes, Emma, but I just thought of it. Um, I've been able to look at pictures and feel the energy off of them and tell if there's something in that picture or not.
Yeah.
Because there's several groups that I'm in that pictures are sent and they're saying, oh, the spirit's over here. And I'm like, I don't think it's over there. I think it's over here, you know, because I'm feeling the energy on this side of the picture, not on this side. So there's something there, but not where think it is. It's over there, you know.
Well,
Yeah,
Energy. You feel energy.
yeah,
but
Yeah.
see, you remembered that without your notes, so
Yep.
maybe it's happening now.
yeah,
Because you were sure that if you didn't write it down,
Yeah.
you'd forget it. You were sure of that when we spoke this
Yeah.
morning. If you hadn't wrote it all down, you'd forget something. But there you go, you didn't write something down, and boom, it was like,
Yep.
you know, so maybe it
yeah,
is starting to happen now. Because I mean, we're all the same. We all have little. I don't write nothing down; it comes to me directly. So I
right,
don't write questions down. I don't get to know you fully before you come on. But legitimately, when people come on, I can come up with questions like that, just at the top of my head, just out with that.
right.
And
Well, that,
you were so sure. Mm-hmm. There you
yeah,
go.
that's why that's why I'm recording with the ghost tube. So I get my words recorded, so I can go back
Mhm.
later and say I can write that down later, and keep it as a log for myself, and come back to it if I need to.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but again,
Mhm.
you remembered things that you were sure you weren't. So I think you'll notice little things like that, though. Just
Mhm.
all of a sudden remembering something you never thought you would, and little things like that, by the sound of it, will come to you gradually and it'll build.
Yep.
And
Mhm.
that there is quite.
yeah,
If you can feel the energy in that picture, if you keep just with thought, next time when you go on investigation, you can feel, and if you can feel it in the picture,
hmm
you'll you can feel energy
Yeah.
on the investigation.
Right.
Spirit energy.
Yeah. I usually do. And I'll give you another example. We were at another investigation event um, at it wasn't Gettysburg, it's called Monterey Pass in Waynesboro. And and I was sitting, I was like on the foothill of the mountain that was behind me, and it was dark. And at the time, I couldn't walk up the mountain. I wasn't able to. So I sat at the corner of where two trails came together, and I sat there. And I started hearing stuff around me and feeling stuff around me. And I said, this is also a Civil War battlefield, by the way.
Mhm.
And I said, okay, I'm the picket line. Nobody gets past me without identifying yourself.
Mhm.
And all of a sudden I hear there's like the trail in front of me has gravel on it, like little stones and stuff. And I hear trump, 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 like sound like two people coming. I said, halt, who's there? You can't get by me without identifying yourself. And on my ghost tube came Aaron and Zach.
Wow.
And I said, okay, Aaron and Zach, you can go. And I snapped a couple pictures. And I caught two blue orbs in those pictures. And yeah, it was, I don't know how you feel about orbs or anything, but that was my first experience with those. But then after that, I was sitting there and I was just kind of listening and trying to feel things out, what's going on. And I heard something to my right. And I said, who's over there? And then there's just enough light that I could see this bluish oval type thing came straight at me. I had to duck to get out of its way, and it went into my phone. And because I didn't see it go past, it went directly into my phone. And would you believe that whatever that thing was erased several of my videos from other investigations and some of my pictures?
Oh wow.
No.
Yep. And I asked the guy, asked the guy that was running the event. I said, "Is this possible that spirits can get into your technology like this and your phone and stuff and screw stuff up?" He said, "Oh yeah." I was like, "Well," I told him, and he goes, "Yes, that sounds like that's what happened."
Yeah.
So I was like,
Oh yeah. That's why when you go into investigation, when you do your protection, you put protection on your phone
"Yeah,
and your equipment.
yep." I learned that. So, but yeah, we always take precautions for as far as when we go on investigations. We ask for God for protection, all that stuff, and then at the end, we thank Him for the protection. And before we leave the location, we say, the spirits can't come with us. You're not allowed to come with us. You have to stay here.
Yep.
So, because I didn't do that one time, and I brought two Confederate soldiers home with me. And yeah.
No.
And yeah. I got up early in the morning because I heard something out in the kitchen. Now we have mice. So I thought, oh, mice run around. But I went out to the kitchen and I have on my ghost tube, I have a ghost tube SLS. Now some people don't believe that stuff works because it's supposed to be strictly for entertainment. But as I told you before, the spirits are comfortable with me enough to use that device.
Mm-hmm.
And those two soldiers saw that device before that day, but they decided to come with me after, So I put that on, and there they stood right at my front door.
Wow.
And I said, okay, you guys. I said, you're not welcome here. You followed me home. You're not welcome here. You can turn around and go right back out that door. And then they just disappeared.
Wow.
They disappeared.
And then you never made that mistake again, right?
What's that?
And then you never made that mistake again.
Nope. Nope. Never made that mistake again.
Good
Yep.
man. Just making
So,
sure. Making
well,
sure.
well, the thing is, my house is like a bus station for spirits. They come in, but they don't stay long, and they're out. Because I've never run into the same spirit twice except one, and her name is Maria. She lives in my daughter's bedroom, um, and I tried to make contact with her a couple of times, but she don't like men, and I respect that. And but I did ask her. I said, "Why don't you like men?" And I found out that she was killed by somebody she really trusted, and it was a male. And
Oh.
but so I stay out of her way. Um, but
Mhm.
I haven't heard anything from her for a while. So maybe she's moved on, or I don't know what. But the spirits still don't stay here. I hear them. I notice them because they come and touch me in the middle of the night. Thank you very much. Uh, but I did have a little girl. She liked to pull on my toes. She stayed for about 2 weeks. So, but they don't stay very long, and I can usually tell. Uh, if it's like the same one again, like the little girl, I knew it was her. And with Mary, uh, with Mary at the bridge, I knew it was her because she had a distinct smell about her. She smelled like roses when she was around. And when we started doing the questioning on the bridge, I got that smell whenever she came near, and I thought, Mary is here. So that was verification, personal verification for me. So.
Yeah.
Now, do you live near like a cemetery or
Yeah,
anything like that?
two. I
Oh,
live near
that's
two.
why. There you
Yeah,
go. That's
yeah.
why you get
One
visits.
one is like I could walk to it. It'd probably take me about 15 minutes to walk to it. It actually
Mhm.
has James Buchanan's parents buried in it, and the other one is a little bit of maybe a 5-minute drive down the road, and
Yes.
it's one of the oldest ones in the area. So, and I've been in that one and to do some questioning, and that was interesting too. It has some Civil War veterans in it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Wow.
That's
yeah,
probably why. Because people like us, we're like a beacon light,
yeah,
you know. Just like when you go on investigations, they know what you're about.
yeah. Well, I mean, it's like
Like I said.
I hear and I read about people having spirits pull their hair, pull their clothes, and this and that, or poke them. And I've never had anything like that, except one time I had a spirit at the Brunswick Museum. Were investigating with another team, and something pulled my jacket. I didn't appreciate it very well, but respect the spirits.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I said, please don't pull on me like that again. So
That's usually, like, I mean, I don't want to say nasty spirits or mean spirits, but sometimes they're teenagers or pranksters or stuff like that.
yeah,
I would think that do stuff like that.
yeah, yeah. I I've always been a type of guy that people have been able to come to and talk to, and they always feel comfortable talking to me, and that has followed me through what I'm experiencing now with the spirits. They feel comfortable um, coming near me and stuff, and if I say don't do that, they're usually good with it. They won't bother me, you know.
Yeah.
So we have a mutual respect, and that means a lot to me when I'm doing this,
No.
And I never really experienced or felt like I've come near like any kind of evil entity or any kind of dark spirit or nothing. And I
That's nice.
think that's because I think they know that I have been to church and I know what to do with those types of spirits, you know. And I'm not an exorcist or anything like that, but I have the power of Jesus Christ, the Holy Spirit, and I use that to my advantage.
Yeah, you must do,
Um,
because that was my next question. You just stole my next question and answered it. See, it's working already for you. You just stole my next question. Now,
I'm sorry. I'll just be quiet now.
I need to think of a question, but he literally just stole my next question.
All right, Emma, I'm going to send you one. See if you can get it.
Huh?
I'm going to try to send you one. See if you can get it.
Send me what?
A question.
What, that he's not going to steal? He might steal it when you send it. You might send it via Bob, via me.
No,
And
I'm
then
sending it to
answer
you.
it again.
I already sent it to you.
Did you?
Yeah.
I'm blank. I'm blank here. No, that was my next question that you just answered, and now I'm stuck. What have you done to me, Bob? You've wrecked the show.
Sorry.
No.
Let me look at my notes.
I quit. Look at your notes.
If Emma don't have anything, I have one.
Send me
I
your
tried
notes.
to send it to her.
Right. Quick,
Okay.
send me your notes, Bob. Oh my God. That was my next question. And I had it all worked out. And then he answered the full thing. Oh my God. Bob, what have you done? Sure. Right, hold on. I'll come back. I'll bounce back from this. Thank you, Bob, for telepathically answering my next. No, but like, aside from investigations, what is some of the like fun things you like to do to take you out that sort of headspace?
So you mean like what do I do after?
Like, when you do an investigation, everyone needs a downtime. So I do like artwork. Donna does so what's your pastime to kind of clear yourself from the paranormal and kind of be yourself?
Okay. I like to joke around. It's kind of an outlet for me. So, and then of course I like to be outdoors. If I have to be indoors for like more than 2 days, I go crazy, so you can imagine what the pandemic did to me. But I'm an outdoors guy. Fishing when I can in the warm weather is always a good outlet for me. I can shed all that off and come back fresh and new. Yeah.
There's some really good things because everyone needs a downtime.
Yeah.
From feeling that energy. And I have seen you fishing. I've seen some of your fishing videos, and they're really cool because I think when you do investigations and then you do something fun, people see that you need a pastime. You need the time. It can't be, the same every time. Like our Liz, who's on this evening, she likes to goof about, dance and sing, and Liz is just fun, and that's her pastime away from what she does. So I like how you share that. Like sometimes we'll see you like investigating, and sometimes we'll see fishing things you've done or fun things. And I think your page is exceptional because you're teaching people you need a pastime. This is somewhat, you need that downtime. So I quite like your page, or your page is up there for me for that reason. Like you're showing people like there's this paranormal world that you love, but don't forget that you need to put that down and clear your heads.
Yeah, that's what happened. Like about, I guess, three weeks ago, I went to Gettysburg by myself just to take pictures, and that's what I did. I just tried to block everything else out and just take pictures. I wasn't gonna look at them. I wasn't gonna look at the pictures till there were a couple that I just had to look at something because I felt that I needed to look at it. And but I looked at it. I was like, oh, I don't see anything. And I went on because I really didn't want to focus on the spirits that day. I needed to clear the head, and I've been sharing the pictures with a couple different groups, and they're analyzing the pictures, and I'm like, whatever. You see what you see, but and
But that is genuinely what I find fascinating about your page, because we can get wrapped up and so into this, we forget that you kind of need to release that energy somehow.
Yeah.
And I really do love your page for that reason. We're seeing different elements to you, but then reminding ourselves that when we do this, we need to have a pastime. So I love your page for that reason. And the fact that you answered my question without me asking it. That's quite cool. Life's mysteries.
I do that with my wife a lot. My wife and I don't know if we're just that connected, but I'll be thinking of something through the day and I'll text her like if she's at work and say, I need to go get this. And she'd text back and say, oh, I meant to tell you to go get that. I was like, you see, or something like that.
I bet that's made a very successful marriage there.
Yeah.
She's angry at me. I'm going to go fishing.
Yeah.
When you're in the doghouse, that's like, you know what? Fun things like that. You say you and your wife are connected, which is really beautiful because it sort of has that element to it. But it does have that element of when you're in the doghouse, to get skedaddled.
Right. Yeah.
You'll know before she said anything whether you should say good morning or see you later first.
Yeah.
So I think that's really sweet. I'm going to pick up milk. Yeah, I was just about to message you and say pick up milk.
Yeah.
That, I love that. You don't always get that. He'd be the only man in this earth to remember his anniversary because it'll come to him before she's.
Yeah.
Like, brilliant. That's super cool.
So, another thing I like to do, if I'm outside, another thing I like to do, I'm into gardening. So that's a big help too.
Well, that's a lot of nature, and that's good for grounding.
Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah.
Donna, that was my next question. That was my next question.
What?
They say gardening actually helps entice your ability, so that was my next question. Right, quick, ask my question. Yeah, figure out another one. Liz, help me. Help a girl. That was literally my next question, because a lot of people say I love gardening when they have abilities and stuff. My next question was, have you ever tried gardening? And I've just got the answer. So
well, I think fishing's like the same because nature is nature,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's no one he's answering all my questions before I've asked them.
Oh, you're thinking now.
I think you would be able to tell you, That was my next bloody quick. I don't know. Quick, I need to think. I'm sitting in a huff. That's it. I'm in a huff.
What I was thinking was, where are you guys going investigating next?
Let me think. What we got coming up? We are actually going to be going on an investigation with another one of your guests, and I'll give a shout out to him, Carl Harrison.
Oh.
He was on your show. He was on your show a few days ago? Like last week or something like that? From Ghost MD.
Wrong show, mate. Wrong show.
Yeah, Carl Harrison. Yeah, you had him on. I watched the video. I watched the show.
I don't want to
Yeah.
on my show.
Are we losing it, Emma?
No, but no, I've never had a Carl Harrison
Yeah.
on the show. Nah, we're not that we haven't. The last shows we did was I think was Anthony
boys.
Cabellos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
'Cause
boys,
he gave-
Michael and Joe.
Aye, Michael and Joe and Cabellos. We never had a Carl. Where's Matt Admin? We've not had a Carl Harrison on. You've got the wrong show. DM I've never heard of DM Paranormal. That's bad, but no, Donna, we've not. No,
That's
we
what I
didn't
was
have.
saying.
No, we've not had a Carl Harrison on our
Remember
show.
that name.
We might now. Now we know about him.
Nah, I don't remember that name.
he gave me a shout out when he was on.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe in the comments. We've had a Tim Harrison comment, but not Carl Harris.
Pretty sure.
No, I definitely I've not interviewed anyone called Carl.
No.
And I've just went through every one we've ever done. And
Especially
no,
real recent. No.
I could be wrong.
yeah, no, you definitely are. You need to mind me, but we've not had a Carl Harrison on.
Yeah.
But we will now that you've mentioned it. Now you've mentioned his name, I'll write it down.
Now I'm going to have to go back and look at your video.
Yeah.
We've definitely, the last two podcasts we've done was Exploring with Joe on Sunday, and we've done Anthony Cabello Saturday.
Yeah. Yeah.
We haven't done it. I've no met a Carl Harris, but I'm going to look him up now. And everyone's just jumped off the live to go and see Wells.
We'll look them up now. Carl Harris.
No, we've not had a Carl on, Donna.
No.
We done
Alright.
podcast.
No, that's why I said we'll have to look them up now.
Exactly. Now you've gave us a name. Maybe he's thinking about Carlisle Johnson. No, he's talking about his pal, and I've not had Carlisle Johnson on here. Yeah, I've interviewed him, but not on this page.
Yeah, I can't look.
No, but I'm sure we'll clarify this because let's use everything in our podcast.
Now we're all going to be looking at stuff tonight to see what's going on.
No, because it is like 1 o'clock in the morning here, so I'll look in the morning when it is morning.
Yeah, I definitely don't remember that name anytime soon.
Liz Millen, who is commenting, has been on every single one of our lives. She should know. We should
Anyway,
know.
well, maybe this will trigger. I'll go on what I was saying. We had been talking about going on investigation to Enoch Brown Park, and he mentioned it on your show.
Oh, he definitely didn't mention it on our show.
Yes, I'm sure it was you guys.
No, see, Liz, I don't remember any Carl Harris.
And you said this was only 2 or 3 days ago?
It might have been last week.
Last week, we had 4 podcasts. That was Exploring with Joe, Anthony Cabellos. It was Nick Carl Harris.
No.
Nah, that's...
No, we had the Earth Angel.
Oh, Michelle Gordon was Wednesday. And we had one on Thursday, did we not? No, we didn't. We had Michelle. And then Exploring with Joe. And then,
Friday we had off.
Yeah.
Other than that, we had...
Wait, no, because we're missing a person. Michelle on Wednesday. Who did we do on the Thursday? We did somebody on Thursday.
No, I didn't watch Wednesday.
I can look back. I'm sure it's not us. And if we have interviewed
the boy, Joe and Michael.
They were Sunday.
Oh, they were Sunday. And then Anthony was Saturday.
Yeah, but we did we have honestly, we're going to get sacked from our jobs now. If
All right.
we,
1 second. I'm getting my book.
Nobody's getting any sleep tonight.
She's honestly, because if we've missed a person, we look bad. So we done
Okay, I got my book.
Joe, Anthony, the Rafe Prince. Oh, we done past life regression. We done a direct contact with a loved one.
Oh, we did
Robbie
direct contact.
Crossan.
Yeah, we did direct contact. No,
Yeah, you've got the wrong page, sweetie. But it's all
yeah,
right.
we did,
I wanted to make
yeah,
sure.
we did the girls. We did
Yeah.
the girls Thursday.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that we've no. We got to get this.
Yeah.
We've never, because what I do is I always make a poster. So I've just swatched through all our posters.
Yeah. I mean, I may have gotten the wrong name, but I thought it was that one.
Yeah, it's fine.
I
That
meet
was-
so many people, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I just don't want people being like, oh, like, you forgot a guest. Because that would be awful.
No.
That would literally be awful. Thank you, Kimmy, darling. I was just making sure that we hadn't actually forgot somebody. So thanks for scaring us. I was going to like sack me and Donna from the show and give it to you, Bob. We've got to give up our podcast. Right. What were you saying? There was a park. You're going to investigate a park.
Right. Yeah. Enoch Brown Park. We're going there on June the 3rd with them. So.
Oh, okay.
Very nice. So will that be live on your page so we can come and have a swatch?
Yeah. So it's
Now, what's the name of your page, hon? Again?
Ghostly Quest Paranormal Team.
Ghostly Quest. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tag you in it because
Yeah.
Yeah,
you send me the link. I could go right to it and join.
gracias muchas. Yeah, I'll send you the link to it.
Oh.
I'm putting that down because I know, Kimmy, I can't recall. No, we've come to terms with we've got to the bottom of this. But we did forget Robbie. So either way, we look bad.
Yeah.
But like genuinely, you sound really like it's a really fascinating thing. Like this has been one of my favorite podcasts because it's someone so normal yet so. One, you were very open, which is always good because we can, that helps people. When they're coming to terms with everything, and you're just a delight.
Yeah.
You're so happy about everything, like nothing seems to grind you. And that's super cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, one thing about us as a team, we try to stay local for a couple of reasons. One, because there's a lot of stuff goes on around here. This is a very old area. I mean, hold on a second. I keep losing your picture.
Yeah.
Okay, there we are. Anyways, there's a lot of old buildings around here, old farms, cemeteries, and stuff like. There's a lot of stuff that's been around here since the Revolutionary days.
Oh wow!
And and I figure we don't need to go any further than like an hour away from where we live because there's so much here. And and plus, the second reason is I don't like to go too far because I still have health issues and stuff that's going on and stuff.
Yeah.
So and I need to stay close to home in case I'm needed. And I don't have to travel like 2-3 hours away or anything like that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, most of us have, like our Liz, who's been on, she goes out her backyard, whips out the camera, just starts, it just starts whipping out the camera, and she's found some really, really good footage just going out her door.
Just in their backyard, in their garden. She's getting lost.
I guess when you have these sort of things, like we should take advantage of them more. You don't need the biggest building to find something, because our Liz has found things going out her back door. Like, I've done some really good investigations with Liz, and she'll always find something. I think that Liz attracts that. But, it's good to see that. I think what you've taught us is your priorities are right. You don't travel far because you have commitments and health issues. You have a pastime which takes the investigation part, and so you've got time to recharge. And I think you've taught us a lot in this last hour or so that some of us don't actually do.
Yeah.
I think really it was an exceptional live.
Well, one thing, and this is, if I give any kind of advice, it's get involved in your community. Wherever you're at, get involved in your community. Because within the last 6 months, I've started a historical society in my town. And, I love history. I love going to historical places and going to museums and stuff like that. And so I was thinking last year, before I had my kidney transplant, I want to start something in the town here and see how it goes. And so I started asking around, and I started a page, Laymasters Then and Now, and everybody was happy about having this page and wanting to learn more about the history or share more about the history of the town. And then after my surgery, after I healed up and everything, I thought, I need to start a historical society, And so I got together with a couple people, and we started one, and it's just taken off by leaps and bounds. And it's the right path to go. And I'm not doing it just to get recognition for what I do with paranormal stuff. No, I want to do this because the community needs this. They're wanting it. They've been wanting it, but nobody has stepped up to do it. And I thought, well, I'm going to do it, And so, and my advice is just get involved in something in your community. Just so, you people get to know you, know your neighbors, try to figure out who your neighbors are, So.
Go and know your neighbors, Donna.
No.
Nah. I honestly, I genuinely think that's a great idea. I mean, I've not really I've just moved here, like into this house. I've not just moved here, but I moved house, so I ain't actually, and probably what I need to do, know my neighbours.
We have a historical society in my town. So I wouldn't even be able to try to start something like that. Because
you could join that society.
I don't know. They're like
neighborhood society and put your into the neighbor.
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna check into it, but I think it's all the city, like the big wigs, because we got Lizzie Borden. So I think it's all the big wigs that have that.
Right.
Big wigs.
Well,
I'm gonna check into it.
Yeah. Good. Yeah, we got nothing but a bunch of country towns around here, so.
Well, I know we got a bunch of houses that people live in, and they are historical houses. They got the plaque on the front. People do live in them, but they cannot change them because they're historical. They're that old.
Right.
I live in a village, and there's like trees. I could go make friends with the trees, I suppose. No, legitimately, if you look out my window, all you see is trees.
Yeah.
Like,
you got a nice garden. outside your
Yeah,
window.
well, like I say, I've got trees in like one shop. Like literally, mine's is like a really, really small village. It's like we have to like go miles to go shopping.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? So I don't really think we've got a society like that here. But I could start one for the people that do it. That's a good idea because, like, Hart Hill, I think you've got like one park, some shops, maybe a takeaway, and then like a church that really needs it. And then you've got trees, lots of trees. Is what you see around here. So maybe we need something like that. I quite like that theory. I quite like that idea. I do. And some historical buildings. I know here you don't. You've got to, Liz, you've got to travel. But a historical building, if you go here, you get trees. And then a motorway on the other side of those trees. That's what
I gotta tell you. I don't know why this came to my head, but you guys are right. It just came to my head. It was a totally different interview he was doing.
Yes. Thank goodness, because I was about to scold.
I was like, wait a minute. That was somebody else. It's like somebody knocking on my forehead going, no, dummy. That was another one.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. My bad.
Yeah, thank goodness, because we were sitting there flicking through a page going, hold on a minute.
Good night, everybody. I'm done.
You might have just scored him a podcast because there's another name. Like, yeah, we'll look that name up. But like, you've been absolutely sensational this evening, Bob.
Yeah.
I'll probably get teased about that one, guys. So.
Yes, from us. I really want to thank you for coming on this evening. You have been amazing. When I say evening for them, morning for me. But I do really want to thank you for coming on and being absolutely amazing.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I enjoyed myself.
Yeah.
It's our absolute pleasure to have you, and I think you've taught me, like I said, you taught me quite a lot through that. So maybe it's things I'll practice. I want to thank everyone that was on. Good night, Kimmy Sweetie. I want to thank everyone that came on this evening. Thank you, darling. And for everyone that continues to support us. But go and check out Bob's page, which is...
Yes, please go over and check us out.
We will put the link up for Bob's page after this live. I'll probably do it tomorrow because it's quite late here. Good night, Liz, darling. But genuinely, from our heart, thank you for coming on and supporting Bob as well, for all of his friends that did come on this evening. And just thank you, everyone in general. Bob, you were sensational, and we will have you back at some point.
Okay. Yes. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
But we will definitely have you back. Good night, Liz, darling. Back at some point. But guys, don't forget to go and check out some of our tagged pages. We are scanning the frequencies. They were live on Monday. Their show was really good. Like, I love that one.
Well, thank you guys for having me.
Not a problem, darling.
I'm sure I'll speak to you on the page, Emma.
Yeah, absolutely. Continue. Like, I will definitely speak to you soon, and we'll definitely have you back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, darling.
Sounds good. Good night.
Good night. I think he was getting a bit there sitting in that car. We were scanning the frequencies as far as I got there. He was amazing, wasn't he? That was actually amazing. Who else have we got tagged at the top? Got scanning the frequencies. Exploring with Joe is tagged at the top of the page. And don't forget our girls, Dark Phoenix Paranormal, is also up there. But go and check the top. You'll see all the pages tagged. Another great podcast. We will be back on Saturday. I think we're doing an investigation with Liz, aren't we? I need to check my diary. I know we're live on Saturday.
Yep.
But again, consulting my diary because my head's a bit. But guys, thank you for all the support this evening, and we will see you the next time. So
Good night.